Christine. It's time for Scraplift Crafternoon. And today we are celebrating Miss Tara because she is a June birthday. They did mine last week and I already had a couple of layouts going up. So I said, I'm going to take that week off. So this weekend is for Miss Tara, and this is the layout that we're scrap lifting. I believe Miss Kristen picked this, and I'm honestly so grateful because it's not terribly complicated in the sense like it's, you know, basically 1, 2, 3, like kind of big paper layers, but it's just a bunch of little banners. And then she has some wordy bits down here, and then her journaling. Now she does have a big photo, 5x7, I'm guessing, with a little tabby here, and her title's on the photo. I'm gonna have to tweak that a bit. I went looking, and I didn't really find a 5x7 that would work with what I had in the way of papers that I thought kind of was a good lift of hers. So I'm going to have 2 4x6s. So, and also mine's kind of adventure-y, so I'm thinking that'll work. So what I have is, it's actually from my Hip Kit grab bag that I had gotten from International Scrapbook Day, where they'd sent me kind of a bunch of random papers, but they did send me, this was from Flourish, I guess was the name of the collection perhaps. And then it had but the wood grain was in here, which is why I picked it. And then there was this blue that I think would be pretty instead of her pink. But then also there was this black and white. So it's kind of perfect. Now this is a little bit bigger pattern than she had, but I think it'll be all right. And then the pictures I have are of me and my daughter. We're on our zip lines. First zip line I ever did. This is when was this? 2017, I think it was. No, 2016. We went to Costa Rica, and that was the first zip line I was ever on. I may end up putting my title along the bottom because I have a little more dead space on the bottom. She had kind of dead space in her sky, but I'm going to look and see because I'm going to think I think the Scenic route is what I'm going to use, because the zip line, of course, you take it through the trees or whatever, and I'm thinking I might try to use the Scenic route. So I'll have to see which one it looks best on. I'm liking the bottom, to be honest with you, but we'll see. And then I'm thinking this is from that same Flourish collection. And I may cut these and make my banners out of these because it's got different colors, you know, so I can make that kind of work. So I think that's that. And then this little journaling pocket card thing came in that little bag. Is that little gift. I don't think it goes with this collection necessarily, but the oranges are good. So I'm going to probably use that as my journaling piece there. So that's what I'm starting with. There's a few florals, or she's got a few little embellishment clusters, and I'll probably get into my Hip Kit bucket. Y'all, I'll show you real quick. So this is my Hip Kit bucket of all the embellishments that I have. After I've used the papers up, I stick them in here, y'all. And here's some of my extra, I'm not very organized, but that's my Hip Kit bucket. So I will get into that to get some fun embellishments, I think. So let me get to cutting my squares and things like that, and I will be back on in just a moment. Okay, gang, so I've gone ahead and cut that blue on blue, like floral pattern or whatever. And I made that, initially I made it 7x9, and that was too short. So luckily I was able to kind of cut off another 1.5 inches, like from the paper, and attach it, and you cannot see the seam. So I'm not unhappy with it, except the fact that I did it in the first place, but you know what? It's just paper. And then I cut the little black and white, and I cut that at basically 9 by, I'm actually throwing a ruler up on here on it, 7.5. And then I turned that. And then I've cut the little multicolored paper there into those little banners, and I did the fishtail thing. I just kind of folded them over and used my scissors and cut it. And so now I'm just going to use a little double-sided tape to kind of organize them to give it that little staggered look that she had. And now, so basically, you know, she kind of had alternating patterns and that sort of thing. So she has a little more contrast, but I think this looks good. I'm not unhappy with this at all. It's pretty. It's got different colors. And honestly, because I fold it, and it is a thicker paper. So Hip Kit has really good high quality paper. So it's a little bit thicker. So it kind of keeps that little bit of dimension, or whatever you want to call it, because I folded it over. It kind of keeps that shape a little bit. So it offers a little interest on the paper. So I said double-sided tape. I'm using that little tape runner there. I'm just kind of I'll use double-sided tape on the back after I kind of get these organized. And I'm just kind of going along. At first I thought I might have cut too wide a piece, but no, it was actually perfect once I get it done and assembled. So here's where I use my little double-sided tape to kind of keep it together. And then the next thing I'm going to realize, at least I think it's the next thing, is that she has a little scallop border underneath the pictures. Honestly, you can see here that I'm scuffing the edges here. She'd scuff the edges as hers too, I believe. So I'm scuffing the edges. But I noticed that she had that little scallop border. So I had to go off and get into my sticker sets. I didn't have any scallops in here. I looked at my punches, but I didn't really care for any of them. They were a little bit too, like, I don't know, doily-ish looking or whatever. So I ran off to my stickers. I've pulled out a few things in the upper left now, you can kind of see. And then I decided, oh shoot, my pictures need kind of a base because otherwise there's nowhere for the scallop to kind of, live. So I just flipped over the paper I had used. I think it was the black and white, the back side of it. And I've just used that as my little base for my photos. And I did put them real close together. So it's kind of, I'm trying to make it kind of act like a single photo like she had, the little 5x7. So I'm just kind of, I put them real close together on there. So that's kind of my, quote 5x7. That's my single photo, but it's 2 photos. So that's where that's going to kind of live. And then I'm going to get the little scallop out. Now, the bad thing about this poor little scallop here that I pick is this navy blue one here. For some reason, at some point, I had torn it in the middle in the past. So I go to pull this up and I'm like, well, shoot, it's torn. It's okay. I end up able to make it work. But if I'm honest, it does give me a little bit of trouble, when I'm trying to adhere it. So I cut some of that part out. See there, it's torn. I'm like, oh, shoot, but I need that. It's like smack dab exactly where I can't have it not be there. Like, I need that. So I'll mess with this just a minute and I'll figure out, a way to, I do make it work, but it's like, oh, shoot, I got to be delicate with it. And then the other bad thing is I stick it down here and then I'm looking at her laying and I realize, well, shoot, the little banners have to go up underneath that, Christine. So I'm going to end up having to pull it back up again. Man, for this little piece of little delicate scallop border here, man, I got lucky because I didn't tear it up, thank God. But here's where my little borders are going to go. And I realize, okay, I got to do that. And then I got to put the little scallop on top of it. So that's why I go ahead and glue this down here. And I knew I was going to have to put that stuff up underneath those photos. So I did not glue the bottom half of the photos when I put them down. I just did the top half. So now here's where I'm going to get my little scallop here. And I'm going to cut off because, again, I do have to fuss with this. It takes me just a minute. I will use a little bit of Nuvo glue. But I'll get it up underneath here basically. And I've just trimmed that off just a little bit. So now I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and put the title on here. And I do decide to put it at the bottom. That's just where I had most of the dead space. I didn't really want to cover up the zipline part at the top, and that was what was going to happen if I tried to put it at the top. So I think this looks really cute, though, and it kind of ties the pictures together because my title is going over both pictures, and so it almost makes it look like a single picture, and I really kind of like that. Now, my little journaling card here, I'm looking at him. I'm like, well, shoot, you're a little too big. So I'm going to end up cutting it. I'm going to cut it down to basically like 5 little lines or whatever. And then I will scuff the edges. Now, she had like a little decorative border on hers, but I didn't do that because, again, honestly, I guess I'm being a little lazy. I could have, but at the same time, I didn't think it would look right on this little card. Hers was kind of a little more intentional. It was designed that way, which this one would have looked a little strange, I think, so I did not do it. And then I got on that little old sticker sheet, and I think that might have been a cocoa vin. I don't remember where that's come from. It looks like maybe a cocoa vin. I don't know. But it had a few little phrases. This was totally not related to this particular collection, but I picked out, Eep, this is so cool. So excited about this, and I can't believe this. And in my head, I'm thinking it's kind of, actually, I just read that backwards to you because in my head, it's like I'm going, I can't believe this. And then I'm so excited about this. And then, Eep, it's so cool. So it's like it's my thought process, if that makes any sense. And then I found that little sticker that says memories because she had that little tabby up there at the top. So I'm going to stick that up there. And then I'm going to pull out I'm going to have to go off into my embellishments and stuff because I start looking. I think, well, gosh, that's going to take forever. I needed a couple florals because she had those little florals. And I'm going to just find 2 in my little grab bag from them that has, again, I've said this before, Hip Kit's colorways tend to kind of complement each other, so it worked perfectly. This was just from a random grab bag of florals that they had sent me in my little bag. And I just got 2 bigger ones because that made it easy. I didn't have to, do a lot of work trying to layer stuff, so I'll put that there. And then, oh, she had some little hearts. So I pulled out that little, it's like buttons or something. It's like buttons and different things, but there's some little hearts on there. I guess they're supposed to be little heart buttons, but I like the pink on them, and there's that little bit of black, and I'm going to use that where she kind of had some hearts, and there's 3 of them, so I'm going to end up using 2 on the left side, and I'll end up putting 1 on the little journaling card. At the moment, I haven't written the journaling, so I haven't glued it down because I know I want to write on it. I don't want it to kind of get wonky when I'm trying to write, so I haven't done it yet, and I will end up putting that journaling card on foam, actually. So I've set that down there, and then I'm going to get off into another little sticker deal in a second. I think I put the little heart there first because I know that's where that's going to go. And I find a little word. She kind of had a little speech bubble that said like better together or something on top of her journaling spot. So I went ahead and I found, I'm kind of looking on here to see if there's anything, but I'll end up finding another little sticker book. It says awesome. So I'll end up putting that on the top of the little journaling card there in just a second. I think I'm kind of looking and thinking. Oh, there it is. It's in that little set right there. So I'm going to take awesome and put it there. And then I'm going to put that on top. And I'll journal off camera, and I just write, ziplining was going to terrify myself, but I was determined to do it, and I'm so glad we did. We had a great time, Costa Rica. And so here's the slowdown. This is what the layout looks like. It's so cute. I really enjoyed this. Tara, happy birthday. You're a sweetheart. I love chatting with you. You're just wonderful. So we will see y'all tomorrow. I've got more 30 Days of Sketches coming, and we'll talk again soon. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe and Instagram at Scrapping Hard and all the good things. All right, talk soon. Bye.